Hey guys, I had a couple of requests to show you how I made some of these little books here, and so I'll give you a little, it's not a tutorial, but I'll just show you how I did it and send you to the link where you can make one too. And I just wanted to show you this box here that my precious friend, she passed away. She was 93. She was probably 90 when she painted this. I just think it's precious. But I keep all my little books in it. And so here's all of them that I have, and they're all so fun. But the one I'm going to show you is this right here is from a site called Junk Journal Ideas, and she is great. You'll love her. She's from Australia. She's got this wonderful accent. And so if you can make this little matchbox thing right here, you can make anything. You can make these, you can make any of them. But she shows you how to do this. So I'll show you basically what I did for this one. And it's kind of complicated, and after you do the first one, you're good to go. But if you get through the first one, then without pulling your hair out, you're doing good. But it's not that hard, really. I'm not that skilled at making journals as yet, so some of you may be able to do it really quickly. So I'll show you how I did it, and I'll show you kind of what you have to do. So these are a kind of a serendipitous kind of little thing here, because these are blocks, wooden blocks that I got from, I think, Hobby Lobby, I think. And because this was 10 years ago, and I had kept these things because I was going to make necklaces out of them. And I did with some of them. But I decided after I'd learned how to make the little journals that I'd make a little journal out of this one. So this is just, this is, what is that? Oh, this is bookboard. That's what that is. I'll show it to you. That's what the center part is. And then, of course, you've got your two chunky boards right here. And I had printed one of my prints and put it on the front. And so I decided I would use it. So what you have to do actually is you really do need to know a little bit about sewing pages together. So really kind of what you have to do is you have to cut your pages to the size that you want. And these are all coffee dyed papers that I dyed. And that's fun to do too. I love doing coffee dyed papers. So these are very small papers that have about, let's see, it's got 1, 2, 3 sheets per signature, and there are 7 signatures right here. So you do have to sew each page. I mean, you have to sew each signature, and I've done it with 3 holes, and it's just a brochure stitch. So I'm not going to show you how to do that because she'll show you how to do that, and it's just in, out, in, out. It's not too hard. So once you get your signatures ready, you have to make this little thing called a jig. And this is a little thing that's going to hold your paper that's the size of your spine. And so that's what she calls it, a little jig. And so what you have to do, you have to get all your papers, put it in your little jig here, and decide it's got to spread out just enough, because you know it's got to fit in your spine right here, which you have cut from a book board, and I painted it black. So what you have to do is get your jig ready. Gotta put a rubber band around it like that, and see if that's going to be the size right here. So at this point, you add your glue. And so what you're going to do is add glue to this end. back here. Okay, so I thought it would be easier to just narrate this. So that's a little jig. It's called a jig, and it's going to hold your papers. That's what she calls it, a jig, and it's going to hold your papers because you want them to be spread out so it will fit. You don't want to squeeze them because that's not what the spine of your book is like. So you're going to put it in the jig, and you're going to find a rubber band, and you're going to put the rubber band and let it hold your paper so you can glue it. And you need to check it and see if it fits your, actually this is your back. This is really kind of your cover. It's not really your cover, but what it is, it's going to hold your cover. And I cut that out of bookboard, painted it black. And so we're going to glue those on there after we get our paper in. So you have to get that all ready, and you want to check it and make sure that your paper is going to fit perfectly in there. That's kind of the hard part, is getting your papers inside your spine. So this is cheesecloth. And actually that was 2 sheets. I didn't mean for it to be 2 sheets, but it was really fine. So you are going to paint on the glue. So I'm going to use PVA glue. You could use any kind, though really I kind of like the PVA glue. It catches really quickly. So I'm going to put a little bit on some paper, and so we can get ready to glue it. So here we go. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit down there. I love this PVA glue. It's a wonderful glue for when you're gluing cloth to your bookboards. Okay, so now we're going to paint the glue on with your brush, and you want to be real easy with it because you don't really want it to get down into your signatures. So let's get a little bit, and you just start to paint it on. If it gets down in there a little bit, it's really okay. I mean, you can separate the pages, but you're just gonna try to just get it on every signature like so. It's important to make sure all your papers are really the same width. Mine are not really exactly the same width. You see that one right there is a little shorter. But it's okay. The cheesecloth will grab it. That's why the cheesecloth works so well. So I'm going to put on the cheesecloth. Just kind of press it down a little bit. It grabs very well, even though it's doubled up here. Probably gives it a little more strength, but you don't have to double it up though. So now I'm just going to pat on some glue to our spine. Pretty easy. Dries fairly quickly, but you just got to kind of let it catch a little bit, dry a little bit so it'll catch onto your spine. So there we go. Onto the cheesecloth. You're going to put that inside of your cover. It's really kind of the inside cover is what that is. So I'm going to put a little of the PVA glue onto the inside of the spine. Still in the jig. You can take it out now if you want to. And as best of your ability, get it straight down into your spine. It catches, but it's not too hard. So you just kind of pull it up on either side and just give it a push down and make sure that the ends are relatively at the same spot. we're going to cut that cheesecloth. And so you just give it a good press on the sides, on the ends. Press it down on the ends. Pretty much you've got your book ready to go. You just have to put your covers on. So let's just put that down in there. Probably is a good idea to go ahead and put the rubber band back on, and that holds it together. Okay, so now it's fairly dry, and what I've done is I've just taken an awl and I just kind of stick it between the signatures and just kind of press it down just to make sure everything's down as far as it will go. And at this point, it really is probably down pretty far, but this will just kind of give you your last snug into your spine. So there you go. There you go. So I've kept a little bit of I cut off some of the cheesecloth, but I left some of it onto the book cover, and just to make it a little stronger. That's going to be glued down. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and glue this wood cover with the PVA glue onto the cover of the book, the front cover of the book. Now you can use, if you don't have wood, you can use gator board is pretty good to use too. It doesn't have to be this thick. You can make these out of anything, really. I just thought it'd be cute for it to be so chunky. So we'll put that down. I think it's best, I better put some glue. And I'm using this glitter glue. I love this glitter glue. It's great. So let's do that. That glitter glue catches pretty quickly. So we're going to put that down. Right side up. There we go. We're going to put it down onto the cover. Just kind of press it together. Make sure everything's straight. You're almost done. They're really so fun to do. They really are. I think after I made one, I probably made 5 other ones just because it was so fun. So we're going to put on the back with the art glitter glue. And of course I've painted these wood squares black. They just came natural in color. So I'm going to put a little bit on the wood. You just press it on, get it all straight. So really you're kind of there. You've got your little book. You just press it all down. I press it down on the table so you'll get a good straight bottom. Pretty good. And you can see, I think you can see that the spine is a little bit matte in color where the wood is kind of shiny. So what I do is I just kind of put something on that to kind of varnish it up a little bit. You can put any kind of varnish on it, but I'm going to add our inside covers now that I cut from just some scrapbook paper. You can use anything, really. This is just kind of a burlap looking paper. So I'm going to glue that down on the back side of the cover. And we're going to glue that cheesecloth down too. It just gives it a little more strength. You're going to put your end paper right over that cheesecloth. I like to cut the end papers so they're just a little bit shorter than the cover itself. I'm not sure if I quite got it on this one, but you just have to measure. It just takes a lot of accurate measuring, which I'm not that good at accurate measuring. So now I'm just going to glue, let's see, that was the front cover, I think. And we're going to glue it on the back cover. Catches pretty quickly, so I think we're about done. You've got a few seconds to get that straight on there. That art glitter glue really catches really quickly. So there you go. We have our little book made of wood pieces with a big spine. I think this is where I'm showing you that what I used on the back is Mod Podge, gloss Mod Podge, just to get that spine looking. It was shiny. It was all, I think I painted it with shiny black paint. So sometimes what I do too, after the book really gets good and dry, I just kind of shabby chic it up a little bit. Kind of gives it a little, I like it. It kind of gives it a little shabby chic look. Kind of like that one. I think maybe you can kind of see it a little bit on that one. But anyway, there it is. There's our little books. And I'm going to give you a link at the bottom so you can let Donna from Australia show you really how to do this. I mean, you'd watched me do it, but I don't know that you could do it by what I just showed you. But anyway, it's really fun. I enjoyed making them, and once you make one, like I said, you'll enjoy it.